Long time ago, the island of Mindanao was entirely submerged underwater, with only the mountains visible above the sea. Despite this, many people inhabited the highlands where villages and settlements thrived. For many years, the inhabitants enjoyed a peaceful and prosperous life. Suddenly, horrible monsters which in a short time had devoured every human being they could. Kurita, a multi-limbed creature that destroyed land and in the sea, particularly in the mountain where Ratan grew. Tarabusaw, a man-like monster residing on Mount Matuton that consumed people and devastated the land. Pa, an enormous bird that blocked out the sun when flying and laid massive eggs. Only those hiding in caves escaped its attacks on Mount Beta. In a distant land known as the Land of the Golden Sunset, a magnificent city thrived. When news of the disasters in Mindanao reached this city, King Indarapatra felt deep compassion for its people's plight. He called upon his brother, Sulayman, urging him to undertake the mission of saving Mindanao from the terrifying monsters. Sulayman listened to the story, and as he heard, he was moved with pity.
I will go,
Said he, zeal and enthusiasm adding to his strength.
and the land shall be avenged.
King Indarapatra, proud of his brother's courage, gave him a sword as he wished him success and safety. Then he placed a young sapling by his window and said to Sulayman,
By this tree I shall know your fate. From the time you depart from here, if you live, it will live. But if you die, it will die also.
Sulayman flew to Mindanao and landed on the mountain where rattan grew. Upon witnessing the devastation and expressing his sorrow,
Alas! How pitiful and dreadful is this devastation!
sooner had Sulayman uttered these words than the whole mountain began to move and then shook. It sprang at the man and sunk its claws into his flesh. But Sulayman, knowing at once that this was the scourge of the land, drew his sword and cut the Kurita to pieces. Encouraged by his first success, Sulayman went on to Mount Matuton where conditions were even worse. As he stood on the heights viewing the great devastation, there was a noise in the forest and a movement in the trees. With a loud yell, forth leaped Tarabosaw. For a moment they looked at each other, neither showing any fear. Then Tarabosaw threatened to devour the man, and Sulayman declared that he would kill the monster. At that, the animal began striking at Sulayman, who in turn fought back. For a long time, the battle continued until at last the monster fell exhausted to the ground, and then Sulayman killed him with his sword. The next place visited by Sulayman was Mount Beta. As he walked along, growing sadder at each moment, a sudden darkness that startled him fell over the land. As he looked toward the sky, he beheld a great bird descending upon him. Immediately, he struck at it, cutting off its wing with his sword, and the bird fell dead at his feet. But the wing fell on Sulayman, and he was crushed. Now at this very time, King Indarapatra was sitting at his window, and looking out, he saw the little tree wither and dry up.
Alas,
He cried,
my brother is dead.
and he wept bitterly. Then, although he was very sad, he was filled with a desire for revenge and putting on his sword and belt, he started for Mindanao in search of his brother. He, too, traveled through the air with great speed until he came to the mountain where the rattan grew. There he looked about, awed at the great destruction, and when he saw the bones of Corita, he knew that his brother had been there and gone. He went on till he came to Matuton, and when he saw the bones of Tarabusaw, he knew that this too was the work of Sulayman. Still searching for his brother, he arrived at Mount Bita, where the dead bird lay on the ground, and as he lifted a severed wing, he beheld the bones of Sulayman with his sword by his side. His grief now so overwhelmed Indarapatra that he wept for some time. Upon looking up, he beheld a small jar of water by his side. He knew that this had been sent from heaven, and he poured the water over the bones, and Sulayman came to life again. They greeted each other and talked long together. Sulayman declared that he had not been dead but asleep, and their hearts were full of joy. After Sulayman returned home, Indarapatra continued his quest to Mount Gurain. Where he defeated all the monsters, he began searching the land for any survivors. During his search, he saw a beautiful woman, but she vanished into a hole in the ground. Feeling disappointed and tired, Indarapatra rested on a rock and noticed a pot of uncooked rice over a fire, which prompted him to cook it. While eating, he encountered an old woman who informed him that only a few people survived, hiding in a cave. She revealed that she and her husband had been safe in a hollow tree until Sulayman defeated the bird pack. The old woman agreed to lead Indarapatra to the cave where the remaining survivors were. There he found the headman and his family, who were eager to learn about the defeat of the monsters. Grateful for Indarapatra's heroism, the headman offered his daughter in marriage, who was the same beautiful girl he had seen before. The people emerged from hiding, returned to their homes, and lived in peace as the sea receded, reclaiming the lowlands for them.